the Stacker News, kind of how they have their 20 or 30 default categories. So just doing these with it's a image first thread with a D tag to define what image board you want to post to, and then kind of gets into your videos, your shorts, your live streams. One thing I like that I've done here, so you can watch your live streams directly here, or you can go into the stream and watch your videos. I've added reposting streams, filling blocks, and you can share out your live stream. This is a feature I wish Amethyst had and Primal had. There's really no way for currently for the creators to share their live stream directly without providing an additional link. I think like this is Nostr's superpower is having the having everything blend seamlessly together. Currently I see a lot of people sharing the Zapstream link, or sharing a link to the Primal page, where it's not. This is kind of, in my opinion, like that next step that was needed in it. Shorts won't go there. This we'll see. People graph. So hitting some limitations as I followed more people using the follow packs. So probably end up nuking this little visual graph, or at least try to reduce
keep the visual, make it better. The visual is super cool. You still figure out a way to make it better. Like, that's badass, man.
It moves too much currently. Yeah. So if I actually zoom in a lot, it'll speed up its random jumble. So here, now it's a little more stable, but your dots are who has more followers. It's really interested in this using Grapevine, some of the stuff David was talking about with the Web of Trust. I would like these bubbles to be more Web of Trust than follower based, but so you click a bubble. Let's click there again. Where'd you go? So here, you can view that person's profile. The goal was to start building more of a visual where you can kind of connect their followers and show following. When you, instead of like on a profile page, if you want to click their follower account, my goal is to redirect over here. I'm not sure exactly how this would look if you have thousands of followers. So you have your followers as well.
It doesn't load for me.
Yeah, it probably bricks pretty hard. But yeah, some circles, again, like circles is something that I find really helps the onboarding experience. But the follow packs are, I feel like it, as a client owner trying to onboard people, I feel like it's better to centralize the circle packs, select maybe 5 of them and manage your own follow pack, because there's a lot of spam, and I really don't like having all of the features available. Kind of like what I said with Archan and the Zapped It. So I'll probably only support 5 or 6 different follow packs. I'd be happy to add more if they're actually more valuable and can help ease the onboarding experience. But blogs, you can come down here and view them. I guess this is another little thing that I think is kind of quirky about some clients is just kind of the ease of being able to type a blog. Nice. What you see is what you get editor, quick access to all your notes. I think it's a little bit more intuitive. I'm looking forward to playing around with it on mobile once I figure out the Amber Connect. But when you launch a live stream or a Nest, you get a little widget down here where you're able to manage your conversation like you would if you're in a Twitter space. You're able to continue to browse all of Roster or Nostr, however you want to say it. Notifications, only have blogs and videos set up, but and I guess some of the more different things that I've added, using Coinbase or CoinGecko for your crypto APIs, and then you can store a FinPub API key, so that gives you this ticker up top here. With the time and little tweaks. I like the personalization. I'll probably end up moving the ticker into the bottom of the slide bar, just to definitely on mobile. One of the I guess the controversial thing with this client would be the settings, this little tab here. I allow people to store currently 3 different networks for different currencies if they want to send it, and I'm not sure. Let me grab and show you what this experience is, so it's not too.
I think it's awesome that you allow people to use those shit coins. I will never use them, but the fact that you build it is amazing. Like, I love the fact because it shows that Nostr should be outside of our sphere of Bitcoin maxis. So it's great, man.
Yeah, and that's my target audience. When I'm not necessarily gonna be targeting the people who are already on Nostr. I've spent years in the shitcoin industry, and so many. Really, it's the retail investors, who need to get out of it and just learn more about other decentralized tech. But the user experience, sometimes it takes a minute, but so you're just selecting from sats. If you don't have any altcoins, you don't get this little pop-up, and it's pretty non-intrusive. And I think as a client developer, I don't think I should necessarily limit people's ability to people should be able to send whatever they want. That's the freedom aspect that I support. So I definitely won't be adding a bunch of Solana meme coins, but I have a lot of buddies who are developers in that ecosystem, and I'll support them, onboard their community, and if I can get, I think I'll be able to get at least 1,000 people to create an NSEC, and if 50 of them find it useful,
that's amazing.
It's worth my effort. So
this client, I can only compare it to one other client, and that is, oh God, I'm drawing a blank. Nostrudel.
Yeah, I love Nostrudel.
Yeah. You have so many different aspects. Like, you literally support all the NIPs. Like, I saw nests in there, joining nests and creating nests, and I fell in love with the client. But you can do everything. Like, it's viewing calendars, image boards, Blossom drives. Now, I saw you even had MLS chat in there. Does that actually work?
It worked until I added NIP17 DMs, but
okay, well that's fine. I mean, MLS is still so experimental, but you support literally everything. And I've been clicking around and playing with this as you've been talking, all the different features, and this is amazing. Like, great work on this. Truly, this is one of the most Nostr feature rich applications, just for showing the sheer mass of size of the protocol and ecosystem and all the different things you can do. Like, this has a little bit of everything. It's wild. I'm super impressed, man. Like, can you start
It's
a live
cool.
stream as well? No shit.
Yeah,
There we go.
you can. So you can use live.
That's
All you
awesome.
need is this M3U8.
Yeah, this is
Dude.
great.
Since
This
you
is
mentioned the live stream, like while you were presenting, Mr. Ruster, I won't call you by your other name, but while you started presenting, I got Riverside back up, so we're streaming to Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, and so like people out beyond the purple wall are seeing this. So like you're speaking to a new audience there who are getting to see some of this stuff probably for the first time.
awesome. Yeah, I'm not a live streamer, and yeah, I went through, sat down, launched live streams on Zapstream. I launched them on Kick, on Twitch, on YouTube, and the user experience, they're great, but yeah, I feel like one of the things that's needed to onboard more of the normie users, besides the hassle of Amber and web extensions. That's why I'm targeting the crypto people or the altcoin ecosystems. They have experience with all this type of stuff, but yeah, Nostr needs to be just so integrated. It's your Twitch, it's your Kick, it's your YouTube, it's your Twitter, and you can, in my opinion, like you can't have Nests as like a standalone app. You can, obviously, but if you don't have the ability to share directly on a feed, and I wish like Primal and Amethyst would, yeah, explore more of the integrations, whether it's like an API call to Nests or more direct, like what I'm doing. I'm not a developer, so I'm a vibe coder, and if I
You
can
did a
do
hell of a
stuff like
job with
that,
this, though. Like
Yeah.
seriously, like it's great. Congratulations on this.
We can tell
Thank
you
you.
spent 8 months on it, because that stuff takes time to make something quality, even if you're vibe coding. So good job, man. Congrats.
I broke the hard drive. This is 50 attempts. I'd like to ask Patrick and Derek and anyone else. I'd like to understand your experiences using different programming languages, because at least with using Cursor and Windsurf, using Nostr tools, and using the NDK with say like a React front end, I always ended up kind of like bricking my client without being able to revert to a working stage. And I'm not very good using Git and GitHub, but I found a lot of success using Rust, mainly because it's, from my understanding, it's more of a strict TypeScript
Silly.
type language. It's better for cryptography, but when
Is that what
Rust
this is?
built,
You built this in Rust?
yeah, this is using the Rust
Okay.
SDK and then a Dioxys
So,
for the
so
front. And
you could then have native applications. Then you could have an Android app, you could have a Windows app, a Linux app.
yeah, so whenever I'm ready, I'll have an Android app. I'd like to, in theory, try to compete with some of the bigger guys.
I've built one Nostr Rust app, but it was for BitChat. I've only used React for all my Nostr web apps, so I don't have any other experience besides that.
Oh, God.
Patrick did make an Android app.
Oh, I wasn't reading chats. Thank you for all the kind words in chats. But for Patrick, do you verify participants for live streams? I collect viewer counts. I'll be honest, I download people's repos and tell the AI to dig through it and pull out all the features and kind of just.
That's how you do it, man. That's literally I mean, Patrick and I do that. That's you pull somebody's project and clone it, and then you tell the AI, "Hey, this feature works in this directory. I want to implement it in mine." Like, it's a great tool. It's a great way to learn and a great way to add features that somebody has in another app.
Yeah, I think we're we're so close to it. Ecosystem. Been in it for about 3 years, and the Nostr ecosystem, just kind of being an outsider viewer, and it's gotten so much better over the past few years, and so many people are building such cool things, and there's plenty of room to grow as a community. So I'm excited to be here for the long haul, and outside of the coins that used to pay me to write their white papers and shit like that. So.
Very cool. I'm excited to use this app and also, watch you hone in some of the features and tweak it and fully launch it. I think it's really good. You can tell that you've put a lot of work into it. Like I don't think we have a whole lot of Rust applications that are web apps out there. So that's really cool. Actually, Zap.stream might be Rust. I don't remember.
It's TypeScript.
TypeScript, but maybe the back end is Rust then.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't seen a whole lot. I know Primal uses a Rust-based Blossom server, and I have a few buddies who are kind of under contract with some building like a DeFi lending protocol, stuff like that, and they're Rust developers, so that's what they do, and that's their specialty. So they're interested in contributing to the code base once they get some more spare time. So
awesome.
I'd go with Rust, and I like it. I think it's probably the best language to play around with on Nostr.
Very cool. All right. Any questions for Ruster intern? Now, Patrick had a bunch, but I think we've answered most of them, if not all of them. If not, no questions. We will go on to the next.
I have a general question, or maybe like a more Shakespeare specific question.
Sure, I'll do my best. What's up?
A lot has changed in terms of like the AIs you can choose in the past week or two.
Yeah.
Can you like give a brief? I don't know if you've done this before or on the last session that you had, but like what is being used these days? What would be your recommendation? What is a good good value for money type of AIs?
So the Shakespeare AI, this is for people that don't know what all this other stuff means. All these other providers. These is for your new users, your users that are intermediate, and your users that want to support us, because this puts money in our pocket. We support over 40 different AI models from all the big name providers. So you can have Anthropic, OpenAI, X, Google, and so forth. And you can also use more privacy focused ones like Routster and PaperQ. And you can use open source models like DeepSeek, and you can even run your own models if you have a machine that you can run local models like the open source models like Gemma 3 or OpenAI's GPT OSS and DeepSeek and so forth. So as always, the gold standard, or maybe the Bitcoin standard, will be Claude Sonnet 4.5. Claude is the best that we have found and works the best. Now, the best does come with a little bit of a price tag. Claude is more costly. It is more expensive. And that's what the Shakespeare AI uses. But you can also use OpenRouter and so forth. So what I like to do is I would say 99% of the model, or 99% of my application Shakespeare usage, I'm using Claude Sonnet 4.5. I have played around a little bit with Claude's new, or Anthropic's new model, Haiku 4.5. Haiku is 1/3 of the cost of Claude Sonnet 4 and just a fraction better than Claude Sonnet 4, but it's twice as fast. So it's a great cost savings model. I've only used it a little bit. It just literally just came out a week ago. But so far, I think for its cost savings, it's great. So if I had to pick, I would say the gold standard and the most expensive and the best is Claude Sonnet 4.5. Then underneath that, you're probably going to have Claude Haku 4.5. And again, that's the one that's very similar in performance to Claude Sonnet 4, but 1/3 of the cost and twice as fast. If you're looking for something that's even cheaper, I say that's ZAI's GLM. This is very cheap and works very similar in performance to Claude Sonnet 4. But it does sometimes have hiccups. It's a Chinese AI, and I believe it gets hammered, like meaning it gets like overwhelmed, and sometimes it's slow, or sometimes there's just things it does. It's really weird. It's like there's outages. And then every once in a while there's bugs with it where it just thinks and thinks and thinks and thinks. But it's very, very cheap. It's a fraction of the cost.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say, I was just going to say that I have a blog post about all of this, and Heather just put it in the chat. So if you check out that blog post that she put in the chat, it'll talk about the gold standard is Claude Sonnet 4.5. I don't have Haku, or I'm sorry, Haku is my friend's dog's name that I was talking about a couple hours ago. I don't have Haiku, listed in there because Haiku just came out a week ago. But I will say that probably I'm going to update the guide to say, save money, and the silver, like your gold standard will be Claude Sonnet 4.5, your silver will be Haiku 4.5, and your bronze will probably be ZAI's GLM 4.6. Now you have plenty of you're welcome. You have plenty of other models out there, but that's what all of us at Soapbox have used the most and had the best experiences with.
Yeah, awesome. That's very, very helpful. One thing I've been using for a while now is the Sonnet through the um, Claude Code, the CLI one.
Yes.
So that has been really, really good. Is that possible to connect it here, like through the account that I have already? Because I'm already paying like $20 a month, and I'm enjoying it. It's giving me enough time to play around without, hitting the wall of tokens.
So you're using Claude Code, and that is Anthropic's own agent.
Mhm.
And there, so yeah, it doesn't give you an API key.
Correct.
So you can't import that API key into Shakespeare. I'll be honest with you, most things that I build with Claude Code. My workflow is to type stacks, MK stack, to have it download the MK stack template. After it downloads the template, I choose my project name, and then I exit stacks, and then I open Claude Code, and then I use Claude Code, until I hit my API limit, and then I wait, a few hours and get back to work. If I want to use different AI, like when I was using GLM a lot, I would then import it to Shakespeare. and then use GLM. But you're doing what I do. I
Yeah.
literally most things I build.
70% of it. I like the idea that you're starting from stacks first, which I'm not doing. But I'm also not building web
apps. Yeah.
web apps. So, but maybe like when I do that, I'll ask you how you do it exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been living in iOS for like the Apple world for now.
Yeah, it's a
But
shame that you pay for Claude, Pro or Max, and you don't get an API key, because it would be
yeah.
nice to take, if you're paying for it, to get an API key and come in here and add it. I tried, it doesn't work. Like, you can create an API key, but you have to add a billing account, even if you're already a paying user. It just doesn't work like that. They do that so you use their tool, So the benefit of using Shakespeare is that you have more user choice to use different AI. So if for whatever reason, if you found out that your project for some reason is very specific, it worked better for OpenAI, you could do that. You found out it worked better with Google or XAI or ZLM, and you can change models. So Shakespeare is good for that. Otherwise, they shoehorn you into just using their one choice and one choice only. You can't change to other providers. So Shakespeare allows you to do that, and Claude does not.
Yeah, and I really like the new UI stuff in Shakespeare, like the Git and all of that. I mean, I'm learning CLI as much as I can,
Yeah.
but I'm not I did not grow up becoming being a developer, but seeing all of this makes it just way easy.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, every once in a while, I use the terminal for when I was building in Shakespeare. I would use the terminal to make Git branches, just because I'm used to doing that, like on desktop in a real terminal. But now you don't have to do that. Now you can go in here and go to repository, go to advanced, and you can do all of your Git branch manipulation in here if you needed to, if you wanted to. But also, sure, you can run the Git commands from here as well. Cool. Okay. Heather or Code Orange, do either of you have something that you want to share?
Maybe the mentions for this week. Let's have a look. This block cemetery that I vibe coded with just one prompt. Should do a little bit more work on this. There's hackathon. I mean, almost finished, and yeah, I want to participate in it. And I would like to integrate Nostr functionality a little bit more, because it doesn't really integrate besides just logging in. So yeah, maybe a question to you guys: how should we integrate more Nostr logins from other users, or some sort of money functionality besides improving the scary mode? I should make it maybe even more scary. So yeah, just a quick update. Not much progress, but what should I vibe code? What should be my next prompt? Any ideas?
Yeah. So you said you wanted to add some Nostr to it.
Yes.
I mean, you could do something as simple as just share that block, right? You could share all the data from that block and post it as a kind one message to Nostr. So if you wanted to, block the number of transactions, the size, the hash, the average fee, I mean, any data that you're getting from, wherever you're pulling it from. But yeah, just to specifically, if somebody wanted to share that block because it was special for whatever reason, share it as a kind one message. You could do that.
Mm-hmm.
I think a group
All right.
will feature as well.
Can you say that again, please?
A group chat, a NIP28, or I believe NIP29 is like a relay based one. A group chat, a community chat, so people can just comment and chat on a public chat room for your website.
Wow.
You can kind of build
Yeah, that's
help
a good
build
idea.
build a
like it.
community.
Like if we're watching, if you want to sit there and watch blocks with your friends or whatever to talk, for whatever reason, I'll tell you what. There was a group of people on Nostr that we used to literally do this. We used to sit in nests a year ago, and we would watch blocks come in on mempool.space, and we would make bets on what the mining pool would be. We'd make bets on the transaction hash, all sorts of like weird stuff just to gamble. And I think that's a good thing to add to chat. That way you can have people chatting and talking about blocks.
Oh. All right, so I'll just feed this prompt into Shakespeare. I'll ask for a community chat with NIP28, see what comes up, and then with kind one message that you mentioned, Derek. Yeah, just to see the average fees, and maybe I'll play around and see what comes up, and I'll give an update next week. Good, thank you.
Now, what is that block that? Oh, never mind. It was because you had your mouse over it. I was like, why is that one block a different color? Okay, never mind.
Nice.
Very cool.
Great, yeah.
That's a cool little app, and I like the spooky ghost flying up at the bottom.
It is very spooky. I should make it more spooky. I'll see how it goes.
You could have like you have scary mode, then you could add like nightmare mode, which makes it do all sorts of crazy stuff.
I'll do that. I'll ask AI to build it. Let's see how it goes. Thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Heather, do you have anything that you would like to bring to the table to share to the room? Absolutely. Always be talking about vibing, always be vibing. Um, well, I mean, I have a feature set that I roadmap, for some of my apps that I want to continue working on features, and I also know some features that don't work as well as they should. So whenever I have free time, I go back and work on them. But usually, what happens is I'll be working on one, and then after I get a feature working, I'll be like, okay, well now I need to go back and look at the other ones, so they don't feel bad and riot or something. So I go and work on the other ones too, so they don't feel left out. So usually I'll do 2 or 3 or 4 over the course of a day or two, just so I can spread the vibes around to all of them. But the only one that I still haven't touched since the beginning is I've never touched Zaplytics, because I don't know. I have a couple features that I want to add, but they're all based on performance. And if I can get it to perform better, then I'll implement those features. But everything else, I work on pretty much throughout the week from time to time here and there, unless I nerd snipe myself and work on something completely different. Which I need to stop doing because I have too many. I have too many apps. I have too many apps. But yeah, basically my motivation is that I've seen many talented Nostr developers over the past couple years move on from app to app to app to app, and it used to slightly annoy me because they would move on to work on a new app and the other app was incomplete or broken. So I completely get it now, and I understand 100%. They were just nerd sniping themselves because they were super excited to build. So I understand that, and my goal was to think of the users that are using some of these apps that I've made and want to maintain it for them. So I'm trying to do better. Hopefully, I am. Gary, Gary's in here. I want to hear what Gary is building. You released something recently, Gary, didn't you?
I did a few things with Tabcom, mainly Start 9 packaging. So their release for
What did you
0.40.
package up for Start 9?
So Start 9 is a self-hosting platform. It's
Yeah.
like a
I thought
complete
it was
Linux
something else
operating
that you released recently.
operating system designed for self-hosting.
I hear
And
you.
it makes
Oh, Gary. You're being pretty average right now.
Hmm.
I'm gonna look at your profile and see if I can jog my memory.
Check.
So that was last week or so. So that's like 10 pages of
Hello.
scrolling. I can't scroll through all this stuff.
Check. I don't know if this is working.
Yeah, you chopped in and out there for a second. I can't hear you anymore. Rural living. I know it's that rural Wi-Fi. So I will have to scroll down through your feed and look. I remember a week ago or so, maybe it was 2 weeks ago by now, you had published something and that you had built. And I was like, oh, cool, Gary's still out there, vibe code and stuff. So I'll have to take a look at it, see if I can jog the old noggin to see what it was. Thanks for stopping by, Gary. Anybody else have any the orange party? Maybe that was it. Anybody else have any questions, comments, things they'd like to share? Can't Talk down there. I know who Can't Talk is. Thank you for coming, sir. Thank you for coming to Nostr Valley. Thank you for coming to all of the vibe coding jam sessions. I appreciate you. Thank you for doing the Shakespeare video as well. That thing was badass. TK, thanks for coming. Appreciate it. Heather, Patrick, Code Orange, Ruster, the Southern Gentleman, and Gary. I packaged SV2 translator proxy for StartOS. Cool. Did you the Stratum translator proc? I don't know what that means. Stratum V2 translator proxy. Oh, okay. It proxies as Stratum V1 to V2. Okay. Well, now I understand. Cool. And you use Claude probably to do that since you're a Claude fan. An alternative to Blossom. No, we don't need new protocol. That's funny. All right, cool. All right. Excited. Blossom's pretty well, like almost every client supports Blossom. But if it's better, you know what? We're early. We can change. Cool. All right. Everybody, thank you for coming. Thank you for presenting. Thank you for your questions, participation.